All right, so here is my lathe. This is an Artisan 11 by 24 inch lathe. These machines were made from, I believe, 1922 to 1926, 27. And then they changed manufacturers, and the layout of the machine is fairly substantially different. I believe this one to be an early one. I think it was made in 1922, and I believe that just with the serial number on the motor in the back there, and some differences between this machine and what I've seen on other examples on forums and lathes.uk, the threading chart is in a different location versus those machines, and it doesn't have all of the information on it. The other examples I've seen have Artisan Manufacturing Company written on here. This one does not have that. These are pretty unusual machines, as you can tell just by looking at it. It has no swiveling top slide. Later models did. This one just does not. The cross slide is, the thread on it is just a Whitworth thread. Pretty unusual. This one I'm going to convert to an Acme thread just because the threads on the nut here are pretty worn out, as you can hear. To get this lathe usable in its current state, I injected some JB Weld with some graphite lubricant. It worked all right. It's better than it was. And the threads are completely exposed. It makes cleaning this thing quite the nightmare. I've mounted an AXA tool post on it, and that seems to be an adequate size for this machine. The headstock, the spindle is threaded for 2 1/8 by 8 TPI, which is pretty unusual. I can't find any other machine that has that same thread on the spindle. So I've had to machine all my back plates for my chucks. I have a 3-jaw and a 4-jaw, and then this is a collet chuck I'm working on for ER40. Has Babbitt bearings on it. I've been having quite the fun time trying to get those adjusted and right. I need to get some more shims for it, I believe. The internal taper on this headstock is Morse taper 4.5, which is fairly unusual, I believe. I have a Morse taper 4.5 to Morse taper 3 adapter to use more common tooling. Then come around here. Here's this lever right here. That's how you adjust the back gears, or that's how you get the back gears. Belt driven. That motor back there is a GE repulsion start induction run motor, which is pretty cool. They're really old. You can actually reverse it just by shifting the brush location. And that's belt driven down to this shaft down here. And this lever arm right here goes out to the front to engage and disengage the motor. That pulley there has a wooden clutch on it that's used to engage and disengage the drive. When I took it apart, and I found just a piece of wood in there, which is original. That's not a hack. That is original to the machine. Then up here is the headstock gearing, and then it does utilize a combination of a gearbox and change gears. So these are all the change gears you have, and you just shift them, and then select the appropriate gearing to get whatever threads you want. As far as controls, that's where this machine is really unusual. This is the motor disengagement and engagement for the spindle, so that's what controls that wooden clutch on the back. So here it isn't disengaged, and that would be engaged. This handle right here, this is actually how you move the carriage assembly, which is pretty interesting. So we'll get to threading on this machine is pretty abnormal just because it does not have a half nut on the apron. So to engage and disengage the lead screw is this lever right here. There is a dog clutch with 8 points on it underneath this cover here, and that engages and disengages the lead screw. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty unusual. So for threading on this thing, after you select the threads, I have found a threading procedure for this. However, I do it the most conservative way possible, which is you select a number on the wheel here, and then you can start your thread. Then once you get to the end, you have the spindle engaged, obviously, to go. And then once you get to the end of your thread, you throw the spindle and disengage it to stop the lathe. And then you can disengage the lead screw, back out the tool, go back to your start point, re-engage the lead screw, and restart the machine. Yeah, so that's how you do threading on it. Like I said, this machine is quite unusual. All right, well, if anyone knows how, oh, that's another thing. This lead screw is 2 TPI. So good luck finding any parts for it. And the nut is worn out, so that needs to get fixed at some point. So if anyone knows that can thread 2 TPI Acme thread, hit me up, because I can't find a 2 TPI Acme nut. I thought about converting this to 8 TPI, but working out the gearing, it would just be a nightmare. Yeah, so that's my lathe. Thanks.